Hi guys, welcome to Counterpoints. My name is Connor. Today I have a huge day for you. I was already scripting and shooting a Bloodraven breakdown, going over a fan animation and the original Dawn of War 1 and 2 cinematics, and then boom, Games Workshop dropped the Dawn of War 4 Bloodraven cinematic. I promise you I will get to it and break it down, but for now I ask for your patience. Let me build there using the fan animations and Dawn of War cinematics. I know it's a risk, but come along with me for the ride. This episode is brought to you by Mastermind Models and Miniatures. They are a phenomenal paint studio out of Huntsville, Alabama, who are waiting for your commission idea. You know darn well that you're just going to spend another fortune on plastic gray kits that are just going to sit there in your pile of shame, and it will take years to get them on the battlefield. Instead of procrastinating, let Mastermind Models and Miniatures bring your imagination to life. Go to the link down in the description below and tell them that we sent you.
Shall be beyond my rule. No enemy shall be beyond my wrath.
We are greeted by a Bloodraven in meditation in front of a statue of the Angel of Death. While religiosity was banned during the Great Crusade, spiritual symbols have been adopted by the Imperium as a part of the cult imperialis to bolster the faith of humanity, to be wielded as a weapon against the forces of chaos. The true nature of godhood is hotly contested between Space Marines who keep the Imperial truth and the broader Imperium who worship the God Emperor through the Imperial cult. Bloodravens are a fleet-based chapter since losing their homeworld of Aurelia, and are of unknown origin and founding. Historical records stretch back as far as the 36th millennium, but beyond that little is known. The Bloodravens seem instinctively drawn to pursuing relics, tomes of wisdom, and use unconventional tactics to achieve their goals. They also have a disproportionate amount of psychers in their ranks, with many times the librarians of other chapters. This has caused other chapters and the Inquisition to distrust the Bloodravens, but they continue to serve loyally and wield the warp as a weapon against the forces of chaos. Their records are kept under seal by the Ordo Malleus, implying one of two things. Either the Bloodravens are founded out of loyalist Thousand Sun gene stock, or they're a chimeric experiment with some traitor genetic coding. No world is beyond their rule, and no enemy is beyond their wrath. We see the chainsword with teeth honed to a monomolecular edge, and the bolt pistol firing 75 caliber rocket-assisted delayed explosive rounds. The Marine can be seen fighting Orks and absorbing an explosive on their ceramic metal alloy power armor to great effect. I have to applaud the creator of the cinematic, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Believe it or not, this cinematic was released 21 years ago, and I still think it shines. Bloodraven Thunderhawk transports soar past the defensive line as a Space Marine Predator tank blasts Orks with las cannons. A firstborn Space Marine tactical squad rakes charging Orks with fire, but Orks aren't going to take this assault lying down and reply with mortars. Orks are a fungus-based bioweapon tracing their history 60 million years back to the war in heaven against the Necrons. Created by the Old Ones in desperate times, they were once a proud species similar in intelligence and technology to humans, but as they were exclusively designed for combat, they have degraded over the eons. Now they infest worlds, spawn from the ground, cobble together ramshackle vehicles and weapons, and create massive WAs, warrior tribes of Orks focused on nothing but killing and conquest. Ork boys can go toe-to-toe with the transhuman Space Marines, making up for their lack of armor in recklessness and strength. Lucky for the Marines, a Dreadnought arrives and rips the Orks to shreds with an assault cannon. The Dreadnought is the walking war machine of the Space Marines and serves a dual purpose. It is a heavy support machine for the Adeptus Astartes, but it also serves as a life support machine for mortally wounded veterans of the chapter. Valiant heroes are interred and preserved in a sarcophagus, and enter the battlefield to share their wisdom with Marines and firepower with the enemy. The Marines, knowing that reinforcements are inbound, take the fight to the enemy, charging up the hill to secure the high ground. The Ork boys meet them and they engage in brutal melee combat. A Burn-a-Boy, an Ork with a love for pyrotechnics, cooks a Marine alive before another boy with a landmine destroys a Dreadnought. The sergeant is left alone to charge, falling to Ork shoot-arounds before he places the company standard atop the hill. Drop pods can be seen falling in the background, showing the Bloodravens are arriving in force. Long before the Astartes fan animation, we have this trailer, and I must have watched it dozens, if not hundreds of times. The Dawn of War 1 campaign is a four-way battle between the Imperium, Orks, Eldar, and Chaos forces fighting over the planet of Tartarus. Though there is much subterfuge, it is revealed that the Alpha Legion forces are attempting to unleash a demon prince upon the world, using the bloodshed as fuel for a dark ritual. Which brings us to our next cinematic.
More of us are coming. This planet will be ours.
You lost this war before you started, fool.
Primary threat spotted.
Moving into position.
Neutralizing. Take cover! Strike from the sky, brothers! This planet is ours, witch.
No, this planet is theirs.
Eldar are another ancient race created 60 million years ago by the Old Ones during the War in Heaven. Both the Orks and Eldar were created to battle the Necrons, but where the Orks were psychically dull and physically powerful, the Eldar were psychically powerful but physically frail. The Eldar inherited the galaxy once the Necrons went into hibernation and the Old Ones were hunted into extinction, and they ruled for eons. Since they were nearly immortal and capable of reincarnation, the Eldar became bored with galactic rule and engaged in blood orgies that eventually birthed the dark god of excess Slaanesh. This wiped out 99% of their species in a massive psychic backlash. Dark Eldar and Harlequins survive in the Webway. Craftworld Eldar live on moon-sized world ships, and Exodites live on terraformed maiden worlds. The Eldar are a dwindling species, the remnants of a once great empire. They value the life of a single Eldar more than a billion humans, and will play their enemies against each other for survival, which is exactly what's going on here. After a series of bloody campaigns, the Bloodravens return to their home system of Aurelia, hoping to rebuild their strength. They instead find their home ravaged by Orks with manipulative Eldar flitting about. Seeking to purge these worlds of their enemies, they begin a series of attacks, discovering that the Eldar foresee a cataclysmic doom. This doom is the Tyranid race, the Great Devourer, a hive mind of insectoid creatures who strip planets bare. The Eldar hope to draw a tendril of the Tyranids to the system to draw them away from their own craft world of Ulthwé, sacrificing 32 billion humans to save their world ship. Just as the Marines line up on the Farseer, a psychically powerful Eldar, they are in turn ambushed. Craft-worlders often use shuriken-based weaponry, blasters that fire crystalline-bladed discs at incredible speed, ripping through armor and flesh with ease. As several Marines are taken out, Howling Banshees charge. Attempting to avoid the excesses that birthed the Dark Goddess, Craftworld Eldar follow disciplined paths known as aspects, some of which are the path of the warrior. Howling Banshees are a predominantly female cast of warriors who use war masks to emphasize their war cry. This augmented sound can stun and paralyze their opponents, allowing them to charge in for the kill. Knowing they will be in melee combat momentarily, the sergeant calls in assault marines with jump packs, the Astartes' own mobile and melee specialists. In the fray, an Eldar Ranger sniper places another shuriken shot to distract a marine, but is cut down by heavy bolter fire. A warp spider capitalizes on the fray and leaps into the battle to cut down the heavy weapons marine. Warp spiders are aspect warriors, cousins to the Howling Banshees, but they use quick teleportation jumps into the warp to disorient and close with their prey. They use death spinners, close-range cannons that fire razor-sharp monofilament wire to shred their opponents, and also have wrist-mounted power blades that cut through armor like a hot knife through butter. The sergeant avenges his brother before charging the Farseer. The Dreadnought covers his charge. A blast of warp lightning is not enough to bring the Marine down. He guts the Farseer, claiming the world for the Imperium. There's just one problem, though. A Lictor, a scout variant of the Tyranids, stands behind him. The Eldar have succeeded. They have called the Tyranids to the system to save themselves, but doom the Imperium. Undeterred, the sergeant charges the Lictor as if it were any other foe, which is why we love Space Marines. Which brings us to the main event, the Dawn of War 4 trailer released just several days ago. If you're asking why we're skipping the Dawn of 3 trailer, it's because that video game doesn't exist and you should stop asking questions.
We have fought the enemies of humanity across 1,000 worlds. No respite, no remorse, no mercy. We are the wrath of the Emperor, his angels of death. But the Imperium lies broken, its armies scattered and reeling. Our foes rise to drag us down, and the galaxy has been torn asunder. On the world of Kronos, we make our stand. We are the Bloodravens. There is no victory to claim here, only vengeance to enact. Whilst even one of us lives, we fight. For only in death does duty end.
The The Bloodravens are back, this time with Primaris reinforcements, fighting both Necrons and Orks on the world of Kronos. By the time of the 41st millennium, the Bloodravens have been at war for 4 millennia and have battled across 1,000 worlds. Having already fought the Ork, Eldar, and Tyranids at full strength, it is now their time to face the awakened undead armies of the Necrons. The Necrons were once biological beings, but burned their bodies and souls away for the sureness of metal. Their vendetta against the Old Ones sparked the war in heaven, leading to the creations of the Ork and Eldar. The Necrons killed most of the Old Ones, overthrew the star gods known as the Catan, and were facing vigorous foes in the Eldar and Ork. Rather than battle them for galactic supremacy, they chose instead to sleep, waiting for a time when the stars were ripe for conquest. That time is now, when they rise, masters of technology that is so overwhelming they can appear to other races as magic. Their lethality is undeniable, but their aims are split. Some Necron lords, including the Silent King, wish to reclaim their souls and return to a life of flesh. Others wish to ascend to the godhood of energy or metal, like Illuminor Saris or Orokin the Diviner. Yet others have accepted their mechanical immortality and simply wish to entertain themselves with conquest or collection, like Imhotep, the Stormlord, or Trazyn the Infinite. While noble lords of the Necrons maintain complex personalities, most of their race are servile machines, marching undead constructs that flay and disassemble the living at the molecular level with Gauss weapons and hyperphase blades. While the Bloodravens have faced them before, it appears that they are now battling the full might of the awakened and reinvigorated race of death machines after the events of Pariah Nexus. It appears alongside them will fight the Adeptus Mechanicus, the imperial cult of knowledge and technology. A librarian is briefly shown displaying the Bloodraven's psychic might. An updated Redemptor Dreadnought pours Gatling fire into a Necron Triarch Stalker, a powerful war machine that can side down enemy infantry or rip apart enemy armor with ease. Orks seem to distract from the formidable threat of the Necrons, returning as they always do to wreak havoc. Vanguard Sergeant Cyrus, a veteran of the 10th Company and revered leader of the Bloodravens, is impaled by a Necron Cryptek. Crypteks are the advisors and technologists of the Necron race, able to wield powerful energies on the battlefield the way sorcerers wield magic. Sergeant Cyrus is shown killing a Scorpek destroyer, a corrupted Necron maniacally focused on erasing all biological life from its immediate presence. Finally, it appears an Imperial ship crashes into a Necron construct, distracting the Cryptek from Sergeant Cyrus, who is ultimately revealed to have been killed. Whether we fight alongside Sergeant Cyrus or are avenging him in the Dawn of War 4 series is up in the air, but I appreciate the glorious violence he brought with him. If you want to support the channel, please remember to like the video, share it with your friends, ring the bell for new videos, and comment for the comment gods. Your viewership helps me in the algorithm and is appreciated. If you want to take your support a bit further, please become a YouTube member or support us at patreon.com/counterpoints. Check out the other videos on the channel, support our sponsors, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until the end.